As much as I hate to say it, I believe that Congress was 100% right about TikTok. As you may or may not know, there's been a big argument on whether or not TikTok is a propaganda machine that is being fed to Americans. But before I get into this video, I want to really preface in the fact that I've been on TikTok for nearly 6 years now. That's where I got my start at. I got into TikTok right at the height of COVID, and it helped me explode, and then there were problems. I got banned, I got muted. So at that point, I had to make a decision. I need to branch off to other platforms, and that's what led me to YouTube. And then one day I got a random phone call. This is true life. This is a real story. This is when I had my office in Greensboro, North Carolina. I got a phone call from an insider. He said, Mike, I'm sending you this message because you need to back up all of your information because TikTok is gonna get shut down. This was 3 years before the shutdown was even announced. And that's what pushed me into YouTube even more. But the ban never happened. And I'm like, I mean, they just spooked me for no reason. And then another year went on, talks of the ban happened, but they didn't go through again. And then it happened this past year where TikTok got shut down. Let me also say that throughout this entire journey, I've never been fed any type of Chinese propaganda until now. And I didn't start seeing these videos until we started having issues with tariffs. So let me show you the first video that I saw so you can actually see where this all started.
Right now I'm in China and I'm going to Shenzhen by train. So I've forgotten my phone and I want to get something from the store. So I'm at 7-Eleven. So I'm going to pick up the sparkling water.
Okay.
And what's very interesting is they actually have, so I'm going to scan it. They actually have WeChat Palm Pay. So that's my WeChat ID. That's my WeChat ID, and I just paid without having my cards or my wallet on me or my phone, which is pretty crazy, mind-blowing. You don't have to take anything with you when you like go and travel. So that's the beauty of China. It just shows how ahead China is in terms of technology.
I mean, just like you, I was surprised. I was like, yo, this is kind of crazy. That's a 7-Eleven in China and you just have to scan your hand to pay? You never have to carry a wallet or a phone? That's kind of wild. But then the tariff war started to amp up a little bit. And then I started to see one of my favorite streamers, iShowSpeed. He's out there having the time of his life in China. iShowSpeed is actually showing off all of their technology in China, specifically their cars. Let's take a look at it.
I just bought this $250,000 car in China. Let's see what it can do. Sue! The car even does the suey! Chat, the car can even dance by itself.
That's crazy.
Look. Up, down, right, left. This car can even turn by itself. Look, it can turn by itself. Hell no! It can turn by itself. I'm not even pressing nothing.
Wow.
Oh, did it just jump? Oh, hell no! The hell? Chad, hell no! Chad, these cars in China crazy, bro.
But I believe that TikTok is teaming up, of course, with China because it is a Chinese-based app to bring influencers to China to show off the country. Because as we may know, we've been fed a lot of negative information about them saying that, you know, it's a horrible country. But then you have kids like this streamer. I don't want to call him a kid because he's not a kid, but he's a younger guy. This streamer right here is showing the entire world what it's truly like to be in China. Now, of course, we don't see everything that's going on in China, so let's just be clear about that. But my point is, as we continue to push on into these tariffs, we're starting to see even more videos, and basically we're calling it China Talk, where all of our videos on our feeds are showing us things that are going on in China. And as the tariff wars have actually heightened, now we're seeing more distribution companies on China coming out in the front and telling us, hey, listen, you can buy this from us directly, way cheaper, even with the tariffs. I want to give a special shout out to all my beasters out there that are working hard to fix their credit using DisputeBeast, the most advanced AI credit repair software ever created that comes with the 110% money back guarantee. But specifically to Jay, Jay's credit score went up 222 points after just one round with DisputeBeast. And Abdul's credit score went up 206 points after just one round with DisputeBeast. But let's not forget about Alexander. Alexander's credit score went up 211 points after just one round with DisputeBeast. DisputeBeast's link is is going to be in the video description and pinned at the top of the comments for anyone that needs to fix their credit. Last part's the most important. And now China has actually extended their shopping visa to a longer length to incentivize Americans to come to China, shop, and not have to pay any fees. And then guess what? China's gonna pay you a cashback reward for spending money in their country. Yes, that's wild. Let me show you what I'm talking about.
China just rolled out a new 240-hour visa, free Jiaonei instant tax refund policy. What does that mean for you? It means you can now visit China Visa, free for 10 days, and shop for duty-free goods while you're here. Here's the cool part.
What?
China's VAT value, added tax, is usually around 13%. And now, when you shop at duty-free stores in any Chinese city, you can get 9% to 13% of that VAT refunded to you in cash on the spot. Crazy how the tables have turned, right? It used to be Chinese travelers doing all the overseas shopping and hauling bags full of goods back from Europe or the US. But now, my American friends are starting to set up their own cross-border shopping businesses from China.
I feel like China is truly pulling out all the stops and we don't have a chance to win these tariff wars. Let me show you a couple of other videos. Now the next one is kind of wild because this is where I start to see other videos of them saying, hey, we make these things here and you can get them significantly cheaper.
Do you want to buy laundry pot? Do you want laundry capsule? Do you want laundry beads? One pot costs only 5 cents. You can get 20 pots for just $1. You have good quality with better price. 10 years factory in Guangzhou. If you want to be our agent, please contact me for free sample.
But hold on, you want to make sure that you watch this to the end because I have some damaging breaking news to show you that you may want to actually hear about. But first, I'm going to show you this other distributor is claiming that all of the major designer brands are actually made in China. So why would we continue to still spend money with all of these luxury brands?
Some say as long as there's a tag saying made in China, the bag can never be luxury. However, in fact, more than 80% of the luxury bags in the world are made in China. But those luxury brands just won't acknowledge that. They take almost finished bags from China factories back to their own countries and just do the repackaging and logo installing, something like that. That way, the bags will appear at their boutiques as made in Italy or made in France. You know, those sophisticated European countries, which make you feel mysterious, royal, and thus luxury. Now, close your eyes. Let's just do a little, very easy experiment in your head, okay? Imagine that you have Hermes bag and suddenly the label on it changed from made in France into made in China, while everything else like leathers, zippers, and hardware remain the same. Do you suddenly feel that your bag is not as luxury as before? If you do, that means you have been misled and poisoned by the market campaign of those luxury brands for too long. Welcome to the real world. Now you see, those bags are made in China by our intelligent and diligent Chinese artisans. Let's not be poisoned and misled by the market campaign any longer and be a real person. Buy a bag from our factory in China, see the real world for yourself.
Even crazier part is TikTok shut this page down. Now, first, he was allowed to get millions of views, thousands of new followers, and then TikTok shut him down. But in the meantime, like I said, he still got millions of views. People are most likely contacting him trying to get these purses and this designer stuff for cheaper prices. Now, what we're seeing is thousands of these videos are being uploaded across every single platform. And of course, some of it's gonna be true and some of it may not be true. We don't know 100% unless we can send some investigative reporters in there to figure out how much of these actual designer purses or brands are actually 100% made in the country that they're stating they're coming from. But this is why China doesn't look like they're going to lose this tariff war, because they have so much reach into the US economy and into the US consumers. Look around in your house and look at how many items you have that were most likely made in China. You go to China and you walk into somebody's home, you're not gonna see a bunch of products from America. Now here's where things took a turn for the worst. On Monday morning, I woke up and there was a massive change in global tariffs, something that nobody was expecting, to be honest with you. Beijing halts rare earth exports, affecting global tech, auto, and defense sectors. China has abruptly suspended exports of critical rare earth minerals and high-powered magnet materials vital to the global tech, automotive, aerospace, and military industries in the US-China trade war, Beijing needs to stay ahead of the competition. This surprising move threatens to disrupt international manufacturing and security operations as countries scramble to find alternative suppliers. Now let's scroll down a little bit on the article. According to the New York Times, China dominates the global rare earth market, producing nearly 90% of the world's supply of these 17 essential elements. Rare earths are critical to the development of electric vehicles, smartphones, renewable energy technologies, advanced robotics, and military hardware such as missiles and drones. And while the whole world thinks it's funny that the Trump administration wants to go after Greenland and take that land because of national securities, no, it's not national securities, fam. It's because it's an untapped resource for rare earth minerals, as we saw right here, that the American companies need. So you tell me what you think in the comments. Is the American economy completely screwed? Are we truly at the mercy of China? So I hope you enjoyed this video. We gave you another big one on how China is not backing down. Now make sure that you watch this next video because it is about Navy Federal and how to get high limit credit cards. And if you felt that I brought you some value in this video, make sure that you don't forget and subscribe to increase your credit score.